Ipob members should drop their agitation so united Nigeria can be achieved. And this is an opinion by this writer. The recent agitations for the division of Nigeria by certain groups have been among the biggest threats to unity of this country in recent times. Several groups like the so-called indigenous people of Biafra have cited several reasons why they feel that the various component regions that make up the country should go their separate ways. I have always said this before and I will still state this again. Nigeria cannot divide. This is not the 20th century. This is a new millennium where economic and technological advancement should be put at the top of the agenda. It is very much understandable that in every society there must be different opinions and interests. Calling for the breakup of a country that is clearly headed for greatness is not just logical. That is clearly headed for greatness. Well, by the people themselves, not the leaders. Then, yeah. Some concerns raised by the aggrieved parties are very much genuine. Everyone deserves the right to be included in the scheme of affairs that directly concerns them. It's not even that. If you go back to the original core of it all, again, the fact of marginalization and not feeling among and isolation, it comes as a result of the unsettled rivalry or unsettled clash as a result of the Biafran genocide. And really that's really what it is. Because from the beginning, we're all jumbled together because of colonization. Now we're getting independence. So what is the problem and why should separation not occur? You know what I mean? Like, these people wanted to go from a long time ago. I mean, it's like, let them go. It's not by force. And it's just that begging for permission sort of is just weird to leave. Obviously you have to follow protocol, and obviously we have constitution works and all that. At the time, just declaring yourself as a state and this is what we are is a problem because apparently you have no rights. Imagine such. So yeah, they wanted to go, so you can't force someone to stay where they don't want to stay. You're holding them hostage and you manipulate them and use your power that you have, whatever it is, to overpower them and sort of intimidate and try to make sure that they stay and are not, are not in a better position to defend themselves. That is that's manipulative in all ways. Oof. So yeah, look at if you're gonna start talking about not being included, it doesn't matter. They never wanted to be part of this whole thing from the beginning. So what I cannot really understand is the fact that some groups like Ipob are calling for the division of the country over issues that can be amicably resolved through dialogue and understanding. As how? This just sounds so naive. Just sounds so drifted and like what's the lack of reality. The grip is not there on what Nigeria actually is. If you think by dialogue and understanding, you think we'll still be here? You think Nigeria will be here? You think if you could easily just dialogue and come to an understanding, you think all this Nigeria will be where it is today? Come on now. It's very much as if you don't understand the country itself. If anyone feels left out, they should seek the properly laid down legal path to register their grievances. Of course, again, this happens in a normal world where we understand that things are being applied as they should. So it's like, I'm confused. What is the actual issue here? Because it's like, you can't expect the people that are meant to enforce the law that don't enforce the law and break the law and make the law for themselves. How do you then expect the people that they're leading to follow suit? There's lack of trust. There's lack of organization. There's lack of accountability. Why, the people themselves that are meant to enforce these laws that you say they should follow, they don't do it properly. So then what's the trust that the process would actually even be seen through to the end? Doesn't make sense. We are no longer in the era of colonialism. You think so? Where our economy should be developed by colonial masters. I don't like that phrase. By colonizers, not colonial masters. Who's owning colonialism and all that? But really and truly, just going back to what this person is saying, I think this whole article is very much it's very obviously simple. Yeah, the solution is actually very simple, but then it's never that simple. It's on paper. Again, we have people, individuals with different ideologies, with different ways of life, and that are meant to be unanimous. What else do you want to create conflict? Obviously it's sad like that. However, it's not workable. Okay, there are countries that are better than Nigeria, so we know what is obtainable beyond what we know now. We know that we can definitely do better, and we are capable of doing better. So, all this fine, but really and truly, um, it's like IPOB members don't need to drop their agitations if they want a new nation, fine. A united Nigeria is not also a bad thing. We're just looking at longevity. We're looking at let people just do what they want without any sort of intimidation, bribery, corruption, and all that. You know what I mean? And are we surprised the foundations in which this country was built was on terrorism and you name it, corruption, going back to slavery, what do you call it, betrayal, name it. Everything is there. So really and truly, you can say the ball is in Nigeria's court to fix the issue. Listen, when Nigerians are ready, they're ready. It has to be organic for it to be actually, fruitful. Like they've actually got to want to fix this whole situation. As a society, we do make up a society, but then again, if the government decides to enforce something and there's proper logical reasonable punishment that the people agree with and they are fine that this is what we do if you don't do this or that, and the people are carried along, there is no way Nigeria will not be better. It's very much it's an insult to Nigerians where they are today, because really and truly, with the skill set that we have, innovation and all that, it's just embarrassing to be where we are. It's very, very embarrassing. We are richer than a lot of countries in the world, and those countries are doing better than Nigeria. So that, makes us, start asking questions like, what is going on, we can't take things like this for granted. So yeah, I mean, again, will IPO members want to drop the agitation? I mean, arguments for that is that really actually the Southeast is not even that united when it comes to the Biafran nation. Like, look at in cases of the governors that even do their best to work against IPOB and ESN, and look at other people who have opinions where they just don't feel like want to join IPOB or Biafra. I mean, it's fine, they have a right not to join, but then again, it's like, then what will be Biafra? Will it just be patches of different groups across Nigeria that decide to be Biafra? You know what I mean? If it's going to be one solid land where, okay, fine, this is Biafra, where does the border end? Who is part of Biafra? Even within Igbo identity, there's already so much crisis and there's so much confusion. So the confusion is just too much. If anything, what Nigerians can say is that we want our government to change, we want good leadership, and from there we can now start thinking of any other thing. But I think about it, and don't forget to like and subscribe.